I want to tell you a story about how I learned to play.
Welcome back. Oh, that's. I hope everyone is here. If you are make it, if you are, everybody is here, then please post a message that I will. We'll start in a couple of minutes. We'll wait for people to get in. So then let's start. Welcome back, everybody. Let me check my chat room for everybody's arrival. Almost everybody is there, so maybe I think this is the right time to start and not wasting much time on it. So what we will do is in this time, as we have promised, we will finish the project number 3. Okay. So what I will do, I will scrap everything and then restart it again for the project. So what you must have done is you must have yeah. So what you must have done is you must have taken this article, you must have taken this project 3 and then you must have given the title, you must have given the author name, and you must have typed the abstract and kept it right. So that's what we have done. Maybe I will go to my text studio and then scrap everything, all of them, and then start from the scratch. Maybe even this. I would go to my folder, the LaTeX workshop, and take off the complete project 3 itself. I'm starting from 0 right now, so I'm right now with the no code or no project done. So let's start with the project number 3. How are we going to start with that? We just have to go to file and then new. So then in that, let's type document class and then article, and then that's called preamble. Once that has been typed, then begin document, and then end the document. Between this, I would type hello world to check whether everything works fine or not. Before compiling that, I must save it. Let me press save, file, save, and I would save it in LaTeX workshop. Create a new folder for this project, project number 3, and if I click on project number 3, if I go inside, then I would name this file also project number 3, save it. So these are the things I have done. For the first time I'm running this file, so I would click on build and view. That's what I have done, right? Okay. In the previous project, we have added some packages, right? So I would like to show it again one more time. What would be happen? Suppose if you add some package, let's say X color, that is the package which is responsible for giving the colors in LaTeX, right? When I add this package, suppose it shows that style file is not there, right? Let's say suppose uh, if it is let me compile it and show it to you what is the error would be. Look at this error carefully. The error says that xcolr dot sty is not found. This is the error. Usually you might get it because right now I have typed it wrongly. But if suppose you didn't have installed the package, then you will get the same error with that, right? So what you must do is you, of course, file name is xcolor. Once you verify that the file name is correct, the package name is correct, then you can open the Windows and go to MyTech console. MyTech console. Click on that. Once you click on that, then you must see this window. This window will ask you to start but this once the packages are being loaded, so all packages are listed here. Now I can type xcolor xcolor and then click on this filter to filter out all the packages which are related to that. Right? If you don't know what is the exact name of the package, then you just type color and then type the filter, and that should show so many packages which are responding for this, right? So among this, actually you have to choose one of them is xcolor over here, right? So just click on that minus button and plus button on top of it. Right now it is minus because, as I mentioned already, I have already installed this package. If you have not installed, for example, I'll choose another blue button is actually been there, right? Is active now. So click on X color and then click on this plus button. That would install the package. That would ask you a dialog box on how to install, what is the repository to be chosen, etc. You can also choose the repository here itself. You can change that, but that's a little advanced stuff. Actually, now we don't need it right now. Need that. So I hope that makes clear to understand actually how to install a new package in a LaTeX machine, right? Once I have done it, then if I compile it, then it should not give any error. So this gives process exited normally is correct. Fine. Okay. That's how it is. The next one which we wanted to do is, once we have done this, what we had here in the project file. Let me look into the project file once. The project file says I have a title and I have a author name and I have abstract Anto. So that shows that actually this is an article type document class. In fact, that's what I have done here as well. Now let's go ahead and type the title of the document. So title within bracket, it's actually how about an simple article, right? And then author, so slash AUTHOR. And let's write, you might write your name. So Dr. David Raj Michael. And then the third one, which we want, print this title to the output so that we will get to know. So let's type slash make title to print this title. That would give you that will give you the title of the document, right? There is no other fancy things over here, so I'm not redefining any title or something. I'm just using the normal articles itself, right? That's all we are going to do. And the next thing what we want, so let's type slash begin ABSTRACT. That is the begin abstract. Obviously, when you start something in an environment, you always must end the environment as end abstract. Then once you do this, you can go ahead and pick up some text from somewhere. I will pick up from the uh, PDF file itself and paste it here. Once I do this, then I can compile it, and that gives the abstract, right? Okay. So the initial portion got over. The next thing what is there in the project, let me see. The next thing is the contents. As I have already told you, I will come to this later. Now what we will do, we will type the introduction. Let's go to the text studio and type. So how do we type a new section? So that is a slash section, and within the curly braces, let's say what is the title of the section. So the title of this section is introduction. Introduction, right? Now I also wanted to paste some of the text here. Maybe this time I will go to the internet, and I'm sorry. Yeah. So let me take this paragraph, any one of the paragraph, and paste it here. So that gives me some text and some room to work. Awesome. That's fine. The next thing which we wanted is, in the article there is a list item is there, right? There is 1 and 2 and so on, right? Okay. So this is what called as lists. It's also called as enumerates. That's what we say. So this is called as actually enumerates. Let me zoom it. Let me cancel this. Let me also put some rooms. Type it. So this is called as an enumerates. There are many packages you can use it to. I'm not going to right now use any of the packages to enumerate it. The LaTeX itself has the built-in enumerate command. There are many other commands are there, like itemize and other stuffs and all. We're gonna stick to only one environment, that is called as enumerate environment. So how do I type an environment? Slash begin ENUMERATE. That's slash begin enumerate. And obviously, when you end an enumerate, when you start an enumerate, you also end that enumerate. So you always must do this. Slash begin enumerate and end enumerate. This is equivalent to when you are using a Word file, in the Word file, this is actually writing this class begin enumerate and end enumerate is equivalently going and clicking that bullets or numbers, numberings. It's equivalent to that. And once you do this, then you have to type the content, but you have to tell that actually, which is the first item, which is the second item, which is the third item, isn't it? That's how actually this works. So how do I say that which is first and which is second? That's very simple. You don't have to keep track of first, second or something. You just have to type it in an order. So how do I type an item in a particular enumeration list? That is very simple. It is just slash item, that is item. So that's my first list. So this is my first list. Correct. Now let's me compile this and check what happens. So if I compile this, then I get an output. That output is something like one dot. This is my first list. There are many things actually you can do here. You can take off this one as well. Let me type a couple of more things. What I will do is just go ahead with one more item and then type this is my second list. In fact, item would be better word. List item. Now type this and then save it. So what you get is the first item and the second item, which is automatically counted on its own. So 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Right? The advantage is I can just cut this off and then paste it in the top. And now the item will be named as 1, 2, 3 as it is, but the second list has gone to the first one. Correct? Let me pull this down and then compile it. Okay. Why don't you type a third item on your own? So just type an item for the list in the third item in the list. You can type it. Typed it. So this is my third item. I'm also going to type something which is having sub list item. What do I mean by that? If I compile it, I have 3 here. I want 3 under that. I want one more list items which shows A, B, C, D like that. So how do I do that? That's so simple. What I can do is I can just start one more enumerate command inside that enumeration. So let's start one more enumeration and end that enumeration right there. Right? Look at this. There is an outer wrapper enumeration. It starts here and ends here. And then wherever I want a new enumeration, inside that I would say that actually you have to have one more enumeration. Start that enumeration and end it somewhere. And then of course the rule is same. Whenever you wanted to list an item, then you write slash item and write that. So this is sub item 1. I hope that makes sense for you. Right? When I compile that, then I would get 3 and under that I have A. So it keeps on moving. Now I can go ahead and add one more item in this. So this is sub item 2. That's a sub item 2. So that gives me another item inside the third item only. If I want to come out of it, then you take care of this begin enumerate and end enumerate, and after that if you come out and type one more item, so this is fourth item, compile it, and that would give you the 4 here, right? Let me reduce some text so that you would see everything in a single page. Yeah, that's comfortable. So this is my first item, second item, and after that what we have done, we have written the third item over here, and this is the text for that. That's what here over here. But something else also. What is that? I wanted under that 3, I want one more list item. That has been achieved by just typing one more enumerate inside the another enumerate. So now if I want one more enumerate here, then you can go ahead and add more and more enumerates. That's what you can. So that is what actually for enumeration. That's what is a list. Suppose if you want to change these numbers in a different manners, then different packages. One is a very famous package is called as enum item. So that gives you how the label has to be there. That's what actually the label is be there. For example, if you do not have that package, then you might be asked to install that package. Let me introduce to you. You don't have to do this. You can just watch me typing. If you are not having this package, later you can install this package and then use it. So one is /use package enum item. Enum stands for enumerate, and then item stands of course for items. So enum item will give you and flexibility to relabel all these numbers in our own way. So if I compile it, of course, that's not going to make any difference here because that's how the usual default item is there. But what I have to do is I want to suppose I don't want to count it like this. I want to count it as let's say suppose this is introduction section. Therefore, I want to count it as I1, I2, I3, I4 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4. That is my aim. Then what should I do? Let's go ahead and see where is the item. So this is the item and this is the enumerate which is containing the item. So let's go ahead and type a square bracket. Let's go ahead and type a square bracket and I'm going to say label, which is a label, label equal to then inside this label and then means inside this curly braces label equal to the curly braces. If I type anything, then that would appear in the list item. Let's say suppose actually now I would type ABC and I just compile it. And what would happen? So what happened here? You can see that every single 1, 2, 3, 4 has become correct. Suppose if I type A, B, C, D, E, F or E, G, and if I type that, then that would come here. But what I wanted is I don't want this. What I wanted is I want just an I. So just if I press I, then that would give me I. I don't want to stop here. What I wanted to do, I wanted to have an I1, I2, and then like that. So how do I say that 1, 2, 3 has to be counted? I'll write it as a comment here. One is if you want to count 1, 2, 3 your enumeration items, then you have to write /Arabic and then one star. The /Arabic star will give you the numbers. If you want to count it like A, B, C, and so on, if you want to count it like this, then the command is used for this is called /h and then star. If you want to count it as capital A, capital B, capital C, then the command for that is /capital A, L, P. If you want to count it as Roman letters 1, Roman letter 2, Roman letter 3, and so on, then you have to write capital R, O, M, A, N, and then star. And you must have guessed the command for small Roman letters. What would be the command for this? Sorry. Command is very simple. That is /ROMAN star. I hope that makes clear. So these are the 5 different numbering systems we have right now. So you can use any one of them to do that. Now, if I just simply write this, actually I'll get an error because I am typing here. So I would say that LaTeX not to run this by putting one percentage symbol before that. You would see that being highlighted. So I just don't want to run it, but I want to keep that for reference for you in the future. Which means it will not run in this environment, but it will just keep it as a reference. It's called commenting. So you can just compile and check. So that this portion is not run, which means there is nothing like this, but I still have this comments for my future reference. Let me keep it as it is. So now in the in the label, I have I. Now I wanted to count it as 1, 2, 3. So now you know the command for that. This is actually /Arabic star. So let's type it. So after I, I just say slash arbic and then one star. So once I type this, then if I compile it, then what happens? It gives me I1, I2, I3, and I4. Correct? I would be happy to keep one dot over there, maybe. So that gives me I1, I2, I3, I4. Correct? Maybe I would change this I to A. So now what will happen? This would give me A1, A2, A3, A4, A4. That makes comfortable. You can make it anything you want. You can make it like any other things you wanted. In fact, you can also use the section references. In fact, every section has a number called the section to represent what is the number. So for example, here 1 is there. Suppose I want to count this numbers as 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. Then what would happen is actually I would take off this A and then I would simply write slash the section and then one dot, and that would give me that 1 dot. So that's so comfortable, right? What is the advantage of it? If I suppose change this section as suppose if I add one more section here, let's say suppose actually section testing, then now you know that actually this is becoming second section. So all my numbering charts to become 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, right? So if I compile this, let's see whether it happens. Oh, that's cool. So that happened 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.3. So I hope that's clear for you. So that's how actually you make your life very comfortable when you are actually having a new packages. So add the necessary packages for you, so that what will happen is in the future, whenever you wanted a new feature in document, then you can search for a proper LaTeX file, LaTeX package file, then you add it in the document. So that helps you a lot. Anyway, I don't want this new testing here because I didn't want that. Let me cancel that out, so that my numbering has become again come back to this one. Okay, that's cool. I'm going to keep it as it is. As of now, any doubt is there, you can actually ask me. I'm going to check in my theme. My stream is not working. Oh, I'm in a new stream and I got a shock of my life. That I thought actually my stream is not running and still going. Okay, so cool. I hope everybody's got here. And anybody had a doubt? If you have a doubt, then you just let me know. I will pop up this chart, then check. Any questions, inquiries? If you have any questions until now, you can actually ask me in the chat box. So I would stop a moment and then try to answer my best. There is no question, then I think we'll go ahead. This is actually the things whatever I have introduced right now is not so compulsory option to know, because that is when you wanted to enumerate in a different formats. The standard you the options, there is no issue. The similar thing actually you can do it for this enumerate as well. Suppose if you don't like this A B C D and you wanted to write I wanted to write Roman, then you must do just square brackets and in between you type the label equal to and then put a curly braces, and in that whatever you want you can do it, right? So for example, right now I wanted to be letters, so let's write Roman and then put one star to count it continuously. So let's compile this. So slash Roman star. So that gives me 1, 2, etc. But what I wanted to do is I want to select everything and cut it and then put one parenthesis as well as and then paste it here. that would I keep it in a single window so that it's easy for you to read. So that gives me one bracket and then Roman and then another bracket. So these are all simple. You just have to believe that actually this is going to work very well. That's all. So that gives me one Roman letter 1, Roman letter 2, and so on. So this is an advanced way of enumerating that. The advantage of actually enumerating such kind of items like this means that you can always refer, label, and use it, reuse it everywhere in the document. That's the advantage. Anyway, what we are going to do, we're going to go back to our project and then check what we're going to find it. So let's see what is there. We have typed this introduction. We have also finished this listings. We have finished actually a little more. And we have another section title called floating objects. So let's say class section and then floating objects. Correct? Class section floating objects. Compile it. That should give you a new section called floating objects. Is that okay? As usual, I would say that I would go to the dummy text and then copy a small paragraph and come here and then paste it here so that it will give me a better way of doing it. There is an easy way of doing it actually. There is a package called blind text. You can use it for your easy compilation and easy checkings. Happy, then you can do that. Means if you don't know, I like to copy and paste it over like this. Then what you can do is, I would see another package slash use package and then blind text. This package blind text. Remember, if you have this package, then it will go. I am sure that actually none of you will be having this package by default. So you must install this package blind text. Once you install that package, then you will be able to type just slash blind text, and then you can take off all the text whichever is there. I don't need this. Then type here, to compile here, then you would get the similar text here. That's easy to keep your code easier, code very neat, but still actually you wanted the output to be filled up, means actually you can do that. So slash blind text and do that. Doesn't matter whether you can do this way or you can just copy and paste it from the project file or you can copy and paste it from the internet. Nothing, doesn't matter. So everything is just a dummy text. We are not going to work with any original text. So it doesn't matter what you are doing right now. Make sure that if you are adding this package, then you must install this, because if that yells at you. Okay. So what we're gonna do is, once we have added the first one, we're gonna see the project folder and project again. That's asking us to add a new section called how to insert a figure. So how am I going to insert a figure in my article? So that's what is there. Actually, there is one paragraph here, and then there is one figure here. Why don't I give 1 minute to add this paragraph and then this? Yeah. I would like to quote one more thing. Remember, this is counted as 2 and this is counted as 2.1, and this is a bigger font than this font, which evidently says that this is a subsection of this. Correct? This is a section and this is a subsection. I hope you figured that out. Now what we have to do to type a subsection in LaTeX? Yeah, all right. So what we have to do, you just have to type slash subsection, that is a slash subsection, and within the curly braces you have to give the title of the subsection. Let's say, suppose, how to insert a figure in LaTeX, right? How to insert figure in LaTeX. Let's compile this. That's good. How to insert a figure in LaTeX. Everything works good as of now, except one thing, that the LaTeX is actually visible here like this. LaTeX is actually giving you an explicit command to type how to to type LaTeX. Means if you want to say LaTeX, then you can say it as a logo of LaTeX. Logo of LaTeX is actually achieved by just typing one slash before that. That's all. We just have to type backslash and then capital L A, capital T E, and capital X. We type this, then and compile it. Then you see the difference. If you can you see the difference? The difference is different, right? L is there and A is here and T is here, E is here, X is here. So that's different, entirely different. So whenever you type LaTeX, then you have to type it like this. Whenever you type tech, the similar thing, you have to type backslash, capital T, E, and capital X. That's all. Now I want one more text of paragraph. I would just type a slash blind text to keep my code neat and clean. So what to do? So it will create one more paragraph for me here and then keep it in this place. Okay. The next thing to do is the adding the figure. That's the new thing which we are going to learn. In fact, the second new thing which we are going to learn in this project, right? The new thing which we have learned in this project is the enumeration, and the second new thing which we are going to learn in this project is the how to insert a figure in the LaTeX. There are many ways to do it, but every single way has one advantage as well as disadvantage. One is the more unique way of first thing to do it is include that figure directly. After that, actually you have to do any other works like captioning or labeling or anything you want to do. Later you do it according to whatever the need you want. So to just first include, then LaTeX does not come directly with the inclusion of any of the figures. So what you must do is you must add one package for it. So what is the package you have to add it? It's called slash use package, and then within curly braces, the package name is called as graphics. Note that your graphics is X, it is not S. Let me zoom it for you. The package is needed is slash use package graphics. The graphics package is not S, but it is X. Keep that in mind. Don't worry, you don't have to install this package, but the LaTeX is already, the basic version of LaTeX has this package automatically. So you don't have to really go to the MikTeX console and install it. Unless until your LaTeX is actually complaining that the some style file is not available, then only you have to go and install the package. Otherwise, you don't need to really install any packages. So let's write this package. Make sure that you have added this package here. Once you added that package, you can come down to the subsection, but under the section floating objects, under that there is a subsection how to insert a figure, and I have one paragraph of text, some blind text is there, and then I'm going to say to insert a new diagram. First thing first, we need a diagram. Where is the diagram? Where is the file for it? I have shared, I think I forgot to share the file here. So let me do this. Maybe why don't I just go to the Google and check. Let's go to the Google and check SignX graph. Let me download one figure for you and then I'll use this. Let's go to images. I think you can do it along with me. Any graph you can choose. Maybe I think I am deeply loving with this graph. So let me save that file as an image. Let's save image as. Where do I want to save it? My files are actually here in LaTeX workshop and then project 3. Under the LaTeX workshop and project 3, I always want to keep my different folder, text files in a different folder, bibliography in a different folder. So every different things is in a different folder so that I will get to used to it. And also in my LaTeX projects, so this file whatever I am going to upload, whatever I am going to use is completely belong to this project 3. So what I am going to do is I am going to in project 3 and I am going to create a folder inside the project 3 as let's say img. Let's let's open that img folder and then save this file. So that file name is sign-graph.svg. We can save any file, png or jpeg or whatever the file, actually that should help us. Anyway, so I have downloaded that file. If you are interested in any other files, you can always go ahead and download that file. After that file, what I can do, I can just go ahead and check what is it is. Remember, it was under my desktop LaTeX workshop project 3. In that, I had one folder. I have actually created one folder image, and then this is the image. This is the image is there. It's an SVG file, vector graphic file. That's okay, no problem. So now let's come back to this place. Let's say suppose I want to add this figure in the document. How do I do that? It is so simple. You can write /include include, then graphics, include graphics. That's very simple. Include and then graphics. Type this /include graphics, and then you just have to type the folder and the file name in for this file. Where is this file? Actually, this project 3 is living in the same folder, isn't it? Project 3 is, I'm sorry, where is it? Yeah, project 3.tech is living in the same folder. In that folder, there is one more folder called img, and inside of that folder, this sign graph is there. So the way I reference that file is, since I am living in the same folder of project 3, I can just say directly img, and then inside that folder, to say that you just write one forward slash, go inside that img, and then type the name of the file what you want to call. So this is my name of the file. So whatever the file name you have typed, whatever the file name you have, so please give that name. It is just only the file name. You don't have png or .svg or .jpeg or nothing. You can even actually add PDF files in this. So you can just add file name and then the proper folder reference. Once that is done, let me compile it. I hope everybody is here. Let me compile this. That gives me an error. The error says that this img sign hyphen graph not found. That must be because of I have saved an SVG file. I'm sorry, I don't think so I can install the SVG file. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Google and then type sign graph again. Let me go to the images. I'm going to choose any one of the curve like this, and I'm going to save this file as, oh, this is a GIF image. Please don't take GIF image. Why don't I have the tools and then type and then line drawing? You can choose any file. You can just choose one of the file here. This one, I can save this file, save images. That's a JPEG file. Okay. So now let's say suppose this is my sign.jpg. Make sure that you are having a JPEG or PNG file or EPS file also must work. So now let me go to this image folder. I have sign.jpg here, correct? So this is my image. So therefore, you can now add sign here and then get the things done. That's cool. So you got this image, right? So if you have got this image, then well and good, happy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give 5 minutes time. In fact, 5 minutes is too much, right? So maybe why don't I give some 2 minutes time to do this job? So let me fit this in. Then, yeah, there is a 3 minutes time counter is there. So just go ahead and add this graphics for you. If that is not working, then immediately let me know. We will figure that out what is the issue. So it was just one simple command, that slash include graphics and then img slash and then sign. You must have the file name over there. Let me check the comments boxes, chat box. There is anything. Yeah, there is a comment. There is a question on how can I manage the size of the image. Yes, we will be dealing with it in a couple of minutes. Just about a minute, I will explain how can we manage the size of the image, everything related to image. So anybody who have come to this place, anybody who could achieve that, please post a message that actually you have done it, so that we will understand and then proceed with the lecture. Don't forget to add that package. Make sure that you have added that package called graphics. What are the possible formats we can insert here? Yeah, you can insert PNG, JPEG, EPS. There is a way to insert the SVG as well. In fact, almost all the files you can except the GIF, if I am not wrong. You may not files, but you can add any other files, any other photo formats. So maybe I think the time given is enough, I guess. Maybe we'll go ahead and then actually uh, work on further, so that one by one actually people will get it. It's okay, no problem. We will anyway going to do the process while giving it, and it one by one, each step by step. So I have include graphics and sign here. So what I'm going to do is let me hide this. Include. What I wanted is actually let me answer this first question, that how do I control the size of the image. The size of the image can be controlled in a couple of ways. One is by giving a scale, and then another one is by giving the width or height, any one of them. So now what we can do actually, let's say suppose I want to give the scale. So how do I have to give? Remember, what you have to do is you have to go between this include graphics and then the braces, and go to that place and then put a square bracket, open a square bracket and end the square bracket, and between that you type scale equal to SCALE, scale equal to number you want, right? But right now I want to type 1 because that's the default amount. The default scale of any image has been set it as 1. What does that mean is whatever the size of the image will be kept it as it is. That's called scale 1. So that is okay. Now later what we can do is, now if I want to change the size of the image, let's say suppose I want to put it little more lesser than this, because this looks bigger for me. I would say that actually now if it would have been less, then it would be nice. So decreasing from 1 to 0 will reduce the size in a different manner. Increasing from 1 to up is going to give you different manner. As the number suggests, 1 is the default as the balance state. If you decrease it by, let's say, suppose 0.5, 0.5, and that means that half of the size of the image will be given. It's of course actually relatively taken at the height of the width, so that you would see that the size of the image has been got losing its quality or without losing any of its other features. It's just only the ratio has been changed. That's all. Now this decrease the width. Now this is actually decreasing the size. Now if you want to increase the size by any chance, what you can do is you can just take off that number. The one was the original size. If I compile it, then the image was this much big here. Now what I can do, suppose I say suppose 2, then what would happen to my image? Then that would be double the size of that. You can see that it went to the other state and then this became so big, right? That's all. Now maybe if I write 1.5, that may fit in the frame itself. Yeah, so that's 1.5. So you can do all sort of things in the figure environment. There is no doubt in it. Let's say suppose 0.75, 75%. 0.75 means 25% of the original image is required, which means 75% of the width and then 75% of the height. So both have been relatively chosen and then given into it. Correct. One more thing I want to do was, I don't like that place has been positioned. I want to do it in the center. So how do I do it in the center? Let's copy all this. In fact, cut all this, and then let's type the new environment is begin figure / begin figure, and then we also have to end the figure by / end figure. That's all we wanted. So / begin figure and end figure. So that's a dedicated environment for figure. Now if you paste this and then if you just click on compile, then you must see the figure somewhere in the top or anywhere else. LaTeX has been there because you did not tell the LaTeX that where do I have to place that figure. You did not tell it. So how do I say that where do I have to place the figure and what is the order it has to take it? LaTeX works in a slightly little more elegant and then sensible way. Usual statement for LaTeX is the top. The position of the LaTeX is the top. Any book if you see, then actually the top most position will be occupied by the LaTeX. But most of the time what we want to do is actually we want to keep it as where we wanted to keep it here only. So that way what we can do is we can give the floating options so that it will take the position whatever we are giving. So how do I say that which position it has to take? That's so simple. What you have to do, you just go with in the / begin figure. Just after the / begin figure, go to here bracket and then type the options whatever they require. So for the figure environment, if I need the features, if I need the options, then I would type a square bracket after just after the figure environment, and then say h and then compile. Let's say what happens. What did happen now? The figure was on top of it. Now once I type h, then it came to the normal position. Correct? That's what happens. Which means now I said this. Suppose by any chance actually my figure is big and then it not fitting here. Where do I have to fit? Where do I have to keep my figure? Is it the bottom of the page or is the top of the page or anywhere else? That also you can set by giving one by one. So let's say suppose I have given h and then after that I would type T and I would type B, I would type one exclamation symbol. I will explain. Let's say, let me zoom it. So I have these options. After the figure, I have a square bracket to give where do I have to position the diagram, and then the first option I have given h, which means that keep the figure here. Suppose if it is not possible to keep the figure here, then don't worry, keep it in the top of the next page, means next page top. If that is also not possible, then try to find a place in the bottom of the page. If that is also not possible, then decide it on your own and keep it the figure anywhere whatever you want. That's called this exclamation symbol. The exclamation symbol is like this. Let me keep a comment on it. So the comment says this. Here is the first one. then the top is the second one, and the bottom is the third one, and then the anywhere in the document is the last option, that fourth option. I hope that options are making clear for you, right? Once you do this, remember I have put one percentage symbol here so that it will not run, because that's it. So that's just for you to understand what's going on. Let me take it off. Still the figure is actually okay. Now the position is there, but this is not the center. To make the center inside any environment, if you want to make everybody center, then you can have an option called slash centering. Center, after that one ring, but without space. Slash centering. Did I make a, yeah, centering together? CENTERING. Center and then on ing. If you type that, then you see the diagram, what happens? The output. The output of the diagram shows that it went to the center of the page in the, of course, horizontal. Okay, that's all cool. Now this is what we have achieved in this document. That's so simple because it's just actually the matter of 3 lines of code. Actually, we could get the alignment of the figure very easily. If you are working with Word, then you would have faced a lot of difficulty. Once you know this commands, then this is going to be a piece of cake for you. It's not going to be so difficult to write it. It's going to be so simple to just actually put the commands and write it. The third thing which we want to do, let's go back and see that what is happening here. Oh yes, we have a figure and we also have a caption for the figure, correct? So how do I write this? I'm telling you, this is my personal experience of typing in Word. This captioning an image is the worst job ever I can do it in Word. But this is so easy in LaTeX. What you have to do, as you know, as you would have guessed already, the command for giving a caption for the figure is, yes, exactly, that is only, that is CAPTATION slash caption, and then you can just put a curly braces and then say what is the caption. The caption is, this is my first graph. That's all. You can put on an. Let's keep this. Once you type this, you can compile it. Once I compile this, I got my caption here as figure 1. This is my first graph. I hope everybody's got it, right? Does anybody did not get it? Let me know. So these are the commands which we have typed extra. So the command which I have typed extra is only this place. You don't need to type this, of course, but you have to type this. And then the extra command which I have typed is a centering, and also I have added one caption. So this is so simple to achieve it here, right? Okay. Anything? Let me check the chat box if there is any questions is there. If there is nothing, then we can go ahead. I hope everybody is here at this stage. Once you are here, then I think we can go ahead and finish it. Okay, then we are actually running out of time, so let's go ahead and quickly finish it. I didn't want to do it rush. I didn't want to rush through because the aim of the workshop is actually teaching something good. So maybe I think we'll take 15 more minutes and then finish this project for sure. Let me come back to this later, the labeling and all, but let me just wind up here. So what is this actually? Now what we have done, we have added a figure using a slash include graphics, and we have added a wrapper called slash begin figure end figure to hold that figure as a container, and that container has an option to position it, so I can position it anywhere. What is the advantage of it? This contains caption as well, therefore it takes the caption with the figure. It does not float it like a word file or any other pages or any other environment. And then we have written one command called centering to center it. We can have different commands like this. Suppose if I write drag left, then that will push the figure to the right side of the document. So that goes to the right side of the document. So similarly, you can write dragged, etc. But we mostly want to keep centering. That's what happens. All good. Everything is works fine. Now let's go back to the project file and check. We have something called in figure 1, right? So there is some letter is there that I will come back later. Let's add the table now. So let's add how to add a table. I'm going to wait for 2 minutes for you to set up this subsection and then add a title and then put some text on it. Until then, I'll be waiting. So maybe I will give a counter. Couple of minutes are for you for keeping the second subsection, which is in the project file. We go to the project file, then you can see that subsection as how to insert a table. Add that subsection in your project and put some text over there and relax. I'll get you there. Okay, so let's go. Then, yeah, can we draw a figure in LaTeX? Yes, we can draw a figure in LaTeX. There's a package called TIX, and then actually not just a TIX, so there are many packages like PGF is also there. PS Tricks, there is another package is there. With that also you can draw a package. With that also you can draw a LaTeX. In fact, I don't think so. One workshop for 2 days is enough to draw the images in LaTeX because there is lot more things to learn as well as lot more things to teach. Of course, it's easy, very flexible. I just tell you that lot more to learn because actually you can do so much of things. That is why. Maybe I am actually interested in anyway conducting one more workshop on TIX exclusively to draw figures in LaTeX. how do we draw functions, how do we draw shapes, everything actually we'll be covering in an introductory workshop like this, so that we'll get an introduction. After that we can learn from the graphs. There's one more question like can we change the figure 1 name? Yes, we can definitely change the figure 1 name. There is an option to change it in the preamble. You can just rename your figure caption into figure 1 to anything you wanted. You can turn off the captioning means we can turn off the numbering itself. That's also possible. So anything is possible. There is a package called Caption. Comes with that features. You can add that package called Caption, and you can just read the documentation over there, and that gives you the one small line of code to rename the figure environment. That's all. That's there. Everything is possible in LaTeX, in fact. Okay. So we have added the figure. Now I think I have given you the time to add a subsection. So right. So there is one more subsection under the section, and then that subsection has named as how to insert a table in LaTeX. How do I type LaTeX? It is backslash and then capital L, small a, capital T, small e, capital X, and one question mark. That's all. So how to insert the table in LaTeX as well. Now that comes here. Now I also wanted to put some paragraph over here. I would comfortably type slash blind text over there. That would add some bit of paragraph for me. So that added a paragraph, and then I am here at this stage. Now let's add the table. How do I add the table? It is so simple to add the table in LaTeX, but very much difficult to type it keep on, because there's so much of typing in tables as usual. I will give you one easy way of doing it, but before that we need to know what is the structure. The schema has to be known, then only we can type it. So how do I do that? It is so simple. Like in the figure environment, we have a immediate command to start a figure, means to insert the figure, and after that put it inside some wrapper, and then go ahead with aligning it, go ahead with captioning it, everything. Similarly, in table environment as well, we have a tabular environment which will directly put the table inside. Then later we will have a wrapper called table to do any sort of things like centering the table or captioning the table or any other things. That's what we're gonna do. So for that, let's start that first direct one. So let's say class begin tabular, not table, it's tabular. Slash begin tabular, and of course we have to write slash end tabular. Okay, the slash begin tabular and end tabular. So anything we're going to type inside this is going to be a table, correct? How do I going to type it? Suppose I say that I want to type the name and then the age and then the gender. Let's say these are the three things I'm going to type. So how am I going to say that? Actually, which is the first column, which is the second column, which is the third column? It's clear from the text that actually this is going to be the first column and this is going to be the second column. Obviously, you need a separator. You need to tell that actually where the columns is separating. To say that where the column is separating, then I have to put an ampersand symbol. So the ampersand symbol separates the column, right? There is one more column here after age, so put another ampersand symbol. Okay, that's all. And I also wanted to do that one more thing, that alignment of this columns, like whether it has to be left aligned or center aligned or right aligned, that has to be definitely given. You have to give, that's a mandatory option. So how do I give any options for tabular? Whichever is mandatory will be usually given in the curly braces. That's always there. So the mandatory option for this is the alignment for each column. The first column, suppose I want to align it as center, then I would write C. The second column, if I want to align it as center again, let's say suppose all of them are center, then that is called C. That's enough. Actually, that runs the code. So let's compile this and run. So these are the things which I need. You can see that this name, age, gender is always here, right? So now look at this. Actually, this is very plain, which means that we can do anything we want. We can put the line or not line. We can push it down or push it up. Anything we want, we can do. That's what we are going to do. So before doing anything, what we are going to do is we are going to take this off and cut it and put it inside a wrapper to work with it very comfortably. One is the wrapper is actually called as, that's also in another environment like figure. This is called as table slash begin table. You know that you have to end the table, right? It's a floating object, which means it can move its position from one place to another place. The table is longer, bigger, then I can put it in the next page so that I will not be able to, suppose if I don't want to break the table, but I can actually move the text up and down. What we can do, we can put it like this. So for that, what we can do, we can give the options here. I would anyway try to fix it here, try to keep it here. If it is not possible, then I will try to keep it in the next page top. Otherwise bottom, otherwise anywhere else. Correct? Now I will copy then paste whatever they I have cut it and pasted in it. So after pasting it, then that gives a little more space to work here, right? Fine. So that doesn't look like a table because actually I did not add any border or something, but you would realize that actually there is enough gap here, enough gap here. That shows that actually that's a table. So how do I write a top line on a table? It is very simple. This is the row. This is the row. What you can do, you can just go just above that, then drop a line and write slash h line. Slash, that's going to give you the horizontal line for the top. Horizontal line, that is h line. And the next one is, I want to go to the next row. How do I go to the next row? If I want to go to the next row, then you already learned one abrupt breaking command, that is double slash, right? So that is this. So if I type double slash and then type anything else, for example, I want to type my name, and obviously I'm not going to show my age right now. Let's type 400 and then gender, of course, male, right? So if I type this, David, 400-year-old male. So that comes in the second one, right? Suppose if you did not type it, then suppose you forgot it, then what does that mean? LaTeX would think that these are all columns and there are three more columns are also there. If I compile it, then what will happen? Let's see what happens. If you compile them, then it tells at me. So it's saying that extra alignment tab has been changed, which means that you have told that only three columns are there, but what you have done is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns you have written. What you are doing? Like that, LaTeX is yelling at you. So what we have to do? So once you type the three columns, what you can do? You can just go ahead and put a double slash to say that this is one row and another row is here. So that's this. As I told you, this is a markup language. What you have to do? You have to mark and say that actually this is the end of the line. And here I can put one more. I can add anybody else name and address. Let me add Amita, then 200-year-old female double slash. You can add your name, you can add your friend's name, everything you want. So I'm just adding the organizing team's name here. So 100 years old female double slash. I also wanted to add one more, and then 250 years old then male. Okay. So once you type this, put a double slash to break it. Once you type this, put a double slash to break it. Once you type this, put a double slash to break it. Last one, you don't need the double slash because we are not breaking the row anymore. That's standing there only. Now that gives you the table. Now not more likely looking like a table. Still, what I want to do, I want to put one more line here on top of the header. So means under the header. So what do I have to do? I have to go under that name, age, gender column. Just after the row, once you break the row, then you would write class h line. And that would add a line, horizontal line below that row. If you add it before, then you will add it before, right? Then I also wanted the bottom line as well. To draw a bottom line, first I have to break the row, then you type the h line. So that should give us the h line, double slash and h line, right? I'm sorry. Made a mistake. Is that okay? So this one plus this and this, very important commands. So I got the table here, very simple table. Now, as you already know, this is an environment, this is the tabular, and I want this complete tabular to be pushed towards the center of the environment. Center of the page means what do I have to do? I have to just go above this begin tabular, end tabular, drop a line and type slash centering. Just type slash centering. Then what would happen here is it will just align my table into the center. That's it. Awesome. Now what I can do, I can add the caption for this, because this is also a floating environment. Any floating environment can be given a caption. So how do I add the caption? Definitely tabular and begin tabular, end tabular. So just after that, but still inside this end table. So just before the end table, just add slash caption, and within curly braces you can type the numbers. You can type the name, age, and gender of my friends, let's say, and compile it, and that's giving you a new caption for this table, and it knows that actually this is a table just because actually we have written it as table. If whenever we have written a figure, then it took it as a figure. Whenever we have written as a table, then it took it as a label. Right? That's what happens. Fine. So that is the tabular environment along with the table environment. Remember, tabular is just what it is meant, whatever it makes the table, and the table environment is the wrapper that gives in additional environment, additional options of floating it, additional options of centering it, additional options of captioning it. Correct? I think we are very close to the end of the completion of the project. So in a couple of more minutes, actually, we'll be finishing it. There is one more thing actually over here. It's called as the colored rows. I can do that as well. Before that, actually, I want to check the chat box if there is any questions. Yeah, can we insert a table from Excel? It is possible. It is possible to actually insert a table from the Excel, but provided what you have to do, let me show the option here. If you go to the your website, sorry, if you go to your browser, then you type something called table generator. Table generator LaTeX. If you type this, you might see a website called www.tablesgenerator.com. Click on that, www.tablesgenerator.com. On it, then you have an option of clicking and then importing it from the Excel. Let me open an Excel file and show it to you. How do I actually import the table from this way? So that's so simple to import it. And if you wanted to have any big tables to be imported and you don't want to type all the way along, you have a lot of online options out there. Let's say suppose I have a name, then age, then gender. These are the things I have, and then I would like to add my name, and then male, then let's say female, then length, then typing it quickly for demo purpose. I think that's enough. So these are the 3 rows and 3 columns, right? Let me zoom it. These are the 3 rows and 3 columns. Sorry, 4 rows and 3 columns table. Let me copy this from the LaTeX. Where is it? Copy this and go to your LaTeX table generator file, and there you have the tab called file. Click on the file, and then there is something called paste table data. Paste table data. Click here. So how do I get here? What you have to do? File, then paste table data. Once you came here, just right click on it and paste it. You got the table here, right? You got the table here, which means that it does takes the table and then load it. So that shows the table here, format here. You can always format it from here as well. You can do the formatting everything. Example, I can select all of them and then make it a center, and then I can put this full row. I can select this full row and select bold, and then I can select all of them and then put all the borders. Anything you want, you can do. I also can type the caption, everything. Let me generate it. Once you type this, then click on generate. Once you remember, notice this command, whatever is here, this is what we were typing so far. So what we have done actually over here is the same thing what the LaTeX generator gives. So it takes the table here and then puts it over here and then gives me that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to just copy this, right click and copy, and come to the LaTeX and put it down to this table, paste it over here, paste, that's all. So now what is happening here, actually, this is the table, and of course that does not give you the floating options, but that gives you only the square brackets. So I'm going to fill up with this HTB question mark, not question mark, exclamation mark, and then I'm just going to compile it. Once I compile it, then that gives me the table, exact table, whatever I have done here, but with the extra. I also did not add any caption here. See, the caption is empty here. You know that you can add the caption here. So this is made from www.tablesgenerator.com. You can do that. That's how you make the new table. Okay. There is something called label here. I will come back to this in a couple of minutes. Once you do this, I also wanted to show you the coloring the rows. So how do I color this rows? What you can do, you can just go to the top and make sure that in the use package, you must have added the color package. If you haven't, please add it. While you are adding, make sure that you also add the between this use package and between this curly braces and X color, keep your cursor, put a square bracket and type table in use package X color, type table. What is this going to do is, it's going to give some more commands to work with the table and the colors. For example, it's going to give a command called row color, which means the row has to be colored in a particular way, right? That we can do. So how do I do that? If you go back down, let's say suppose I want to color this link2. So let's go to this link2 here. This is my link2's command. This is what the row. I just keep my cursor before this link2 and then type /row color and then type red. Let's say I want to do something like this. Now what happens actually, this one is actually saying that the complete row has been turned red. That's what it happens. Okay. This way, what you can do, you can keep on writing for any different colors. Say, for example, I want to type row color for Joseph. Let's say, suppose green, and then compile it, and that shows that actually this is in red and this is in green. Let's say, suppose I want Amita to have some blue color. Then it has been made it as blue. So there are many things you can do. You can also do something like you can put one exclamation and put some number between 0 to 100 to mention that actually how much percentage of the color you wanted. Like for example, if I put blue and then exclamation and then 30, which means 30% of the blue has been filled up. You can also add up with one more explanation and then give one more color, black or something, and that gives you the remaining percentage as black. So that gives you 30% of the blue and then 70% of the black. So any such color things actually you can do it. Sir, how do we know all these colors? How do I know what are the colors are actually available? That's so simple. you can go to the internet and then type LaTeX color codes, and that should bring up the LaTeX colors, latexcolor.com. That's the latexcolor.com. If you click on it, that gives you a lot of colors whichever is available for you to use it. So all these colors you can use it. Every single color you can use it. You can also define a new color like this. I will show it. It's not for everybody. Let me say, suppose I want to use this Air Force blue. Let me copy this and then put it in my preamble, maybe just below the cover. Remember, define color Air Force blue and then RGBs. So once I use this, let me copy this name of the color and then go just below this table. Let me say that I don't want this blue to be there. Air Force blue should be there, and I compile it, and I get that color. That's what it matters. So it's simple to use it. This again, actually, it's actually a little advanced to introduce right now. I do understand that. So what you can do actually, you can go ahead and then fiddle with the projects whatever we are giving. Once you come to know, then you can do it. There is an easy way of doing it by alternate colors. Like for example, if I take off all these colors here, let me keep that colors for you because I'll do it in the next table. Next table, just before the table, I can say row colors. Uh, I think it must be just odd and even rows, I guess. So let me check. Let me check. I forgot the exact comment for that. Let me check my project. Just give me a moment. Remembering all commands is actually is little tedious. I understand. Yeah, row colors. Yes, I have forgotten the start and end. So what you have? I'm sorry. What you have to write is here row colors is the right command, but the problem here is I have to say that from which row onwards you have to write. Let's say suppose this is a start, and then this is the odd color, means odd rows what I have to have. Then this is the even color. So what the even rows has to have the color. So let's say suppose this has to start from the first row, and then the odd rows has to have 10% of the red, and then even rows don't have any color. Suppose then if you compile it, that would work well. So now let's see the table. Yeah. So that table says that odd rows are having this, and then even rows are having this, right? So now we can actually change this. Suppose I don't want that, I can change this number to 2, which means that the row has been started from second row onwards. So second row onwards, this is an odd row, so no color. Sorry, this is an even row, therefore no color. But for odd row, this is a red color, red with 10% of it. So you can add more rows and then check whether it is working or not. What I'm going to do, I'm going to just copy this and paste the same thing to check whether it is working fine or not. So I've added 3 more rows. Now you see the every odd rows have been colored with red at this, right? So you must see, have seen this in many of the uh, magazines or any of the standard article itself, that they would say that alternate rows will have the colors for readability. Okay, you can do that. I think everything got little cluttered. I think that's clear for everybody. Remember, I have already told you, you just have to know how to create a table. That's all what we wanted. The row colors and adding new rows, different colors, everything is actually slightly advanced. Don't worry if you don't get it. If you are not getting that row colors and other stuff and all, do not worry about it. I would actually definitely make another, of course, free video for this, and then I will link that video to you for your future reference for how to work with the tables exclusively. Okay, so that's all we wanted. The last bit of things is the cross-referencing. Quickly, I'll finish it. What do you mean by cross-referencing is, if you have a table or a figure, then that has a number. So what you can do, you can take that number and refer to that anywhere else, right? So let's say, suppose I want to say, in the table 2, we have discussed sum. Now if I compile this, then what will I get? I will get this output here, but the problem is, say that this is a problem because I have hard coded this number as 2. Suppose if I change this table to up and the other table down, then what will happen? This table will become 1 and this table will become 2. But I meant this table rather than this table, right? So how do I say that? Always I have to stick to this table to this number as well, because you might have referred it in many places in your document. So how do I say that? There comes the cross referencing. So how do I cross reference it? What you can do is, to refer this table, you just go to that table. You can just right click and then go to source. This is the table. Under that caption, once you caption the table, remember you have to caption the table to refer it. You type label, and inside this label, then you can give any label you want. Note that you are not allowed to have any space in it, because this is a nickname for it. It's like a nickname, I can call it anytime, and it cannot be changed once you have referred it anywhere, or in other words, you have to change it everywhere else if you are changing it. So make sure that actually you are naming it properly. Let's say, suppose this is a table colon and then names and then underscore and ages. Let's say this is my nickname for that table. You can name it anything, anywhere you want. You don't need to actually have to have table or colon. So this is also not necessary. But right now, actually, I want to keep it so that it will be easy for me to remember all this. So this is a standard way of referring it. Sorry, standard way of labeling it. Once you've done it, then what you can do, once you have labeled it, you can refer it anywhere in the document. For example, here I can refer it as /ref, and then within the curly braces, you have to type the name of it. I think I just typed the T, then Text Studio has automatically filled it. But what you can do, you can just copy this label and then paste it here, or you can use the Text Studio's feature. Okay. Once you have done it, now if I compile it, then what happens is it gives me a table 2 over here exactly as it is. It gives that. But I did not type 2 here as earlier, but I have typed the referenced here. The advantage is, suppose I take the complete table here, cut it and put it above this table, put it above the previous table and compile it. Then you know that this table is becoming 1, and so anywhere I refer this table, there also it has to be 1, and that's happening here because we have labeled this and then referred here. That is called as cross referencing. So you always have to do that. If any technical document you write, then this referencing will be easier to do that. In fact, in those one more advantages, sometimes later you may want to change this numbering style. You may want to keep it as it's not table 2, whereas it has to be 2.1 or 2.2. It has to go with the section numbering, etc. So that time you cannot go and change everywhere hand by hand. So you have to have a proper mechanism to do it. That's what it does. The final thing which we have to do is the table of contents. How do I do the table of contents? I would say that actually that would take to do it. How do I do that? Let me go to the top of it just after the abstract, before the introduction. Just go here, type the table of contents. Table of contents. Type this command, table of contents, and then the table of contents should appear automatically on its own like this. The contraction, floating objects and subsections, everything has been automatically done, and then the page numbers is automatically visible, everything is there. So that's the power of LaTeX. And only one thing is not there with our project is, our project had links to it, right? So if I click on that, then the conclusion are there. If I click on this how to insert table, then it was going here, right? But here it is not there, right? I cannot click on this. If I click on this, then it's not happening anything. Even if I go to the hand symbol and then click on it, nothing happens. That's because I did not add any hyperlinks to it. That is so simple to activate it again. That's so simple. How do I do that? Just go to the preamble before the begin document. Just before the begin preamble, just type use package. It's a new package we are going to use. In that, type HYPER REF, hyper reference, right? So just type slash use package hyperref and then compile it. I am not wrong, then the hyperreference package has to automatically actually has to come automatically. When you are running for the first time, when you have already referred and labeled, then that would throw an error saying that paragraph ended before hyperlink. Don't worry, you compile it one more time, then you would get. See, when I compile one more time, then the process is actually exited normally. So one thing is you need to worry about is the reference package is there or not in your mic tech. If not, please insert. If I am not wrong, I think I've used it long time ago. So maybe I am 95% sure that actually the hyperrefer package is automatically comes with the base package. Just check with it. One more thing I want to check is the link is actually is now working, because if I click right now how to insert a table, then it goes to the table here, right? See, this went to the table, right? And also it has a table 1 here, and if I click on table 1 here, that also just here actually, that is why it's not taking to me that, but it will take to that table as well, right? See, if I click on that, it takes to the table as well. So now the references are actually is very dynamic and it is working very well, but except one thing, that it does not look good if I have the reference as frame boxes. So that one I can just go ahead with the use package and hyperref, and below that you type slash hyper setup. Just type slash hyper setup, and then within the curly braces, you type color links equal to true. Color links equal to true. Class hyper setup and open a curly brace, end the curly brace, and type color links equal to true. Make sure that you don't give any such kind of line breaks here. They're all just action, so you need to be careful on it. So just click on compile. That turns all of this into a colored links, boxed links. Now, as expected, everything works fine. So if I click on how to insert a figure in LaTeX, it takes to me that how to insert a figure in LaTeX. So since I have zoomed it here, so it makes me here, but otherwise it does works. I think that's all we wanted to do. The same thing you can do it with any section as well. I hope that's clear for you. So every code whichever we have written is actually it's just like piece of cake. In fact, that's so simple to remember. You just have to practice it one more time. That's all. Let me go ahead and check the comments here. If there are any questions or queries? Sir, can I merge two cells of a table? Yes, you can merge the two cells of a table using something called multi-calls. You can just say that two cells can be merged as it is. Not two rows or two columns. Yes, you can do both. You can actually merge two rows, anything you want you can do. Maybe for a quick note I can show you in the LaTeX, but you need to do one thing, that if you suppose I say this, then I want to merge these two columns, suppose say for example, then I delete all of them and type slash multi-column, and that has a three options. What is this is, let's say suppose ABC, let's keep the placeholders and fill it later. So slash multi-column, then ABC. So the first option is the position where you, first option is how many columns you want to do merge. So I want to merge two columns, and I also want to have an option of which position you want to do. So like you want to align it as center, or you want to align it as left, or you want to align it as right or something like that. Let me say that actually I want to align it as center, so I type C. Then this is the content of that cell. Let's say suppose actually in David and 400. I have merged these two columns now. Let me compile this, and that would merge these two columns here. So let's look at here. These two columns are right now merged, and then of course, did I make a spelling mistake? So David and 400 has been merged together as one single column, and then you can work on it. So what you have to do, you have to type slash multi-column, and you have to say how many columns you want to merge, and what is the alignment option you want to give, and what is the text you want to keep on that place. I think that answers his question. Is there any other questions? If you have any questions, you can post it. Otherwise, we are towards the end of the session. So before answering any queries or something, I would say what you have to do for today. So what you can do is almost the end of the day. I have a exercise project I have been shared with you. If I am not wrong, then there is an exercise, day one exercise. There is an exercise project one. Oh, I have. Hmm, where did I keep the? Well, just give me a moment. I'll just check. Let me download it. Otherwise. So until then, actually, I will see that whether is there any questions and queries. Is there any questions? How to merge two rows? Yeah, you can merge two rows using a package called multi-rows. Anyway, I'm not going to cover that right now. But what you can do is you refer to a package called multi-rows. You have to add that package in the top, and then you can just do the same process. Use the rows and keep the number of rows and keep the alignment, and then keep the text in it. So that will merge the two rows. That's all it's going to do. It's going to be so easy for that. Let me download this material for you, and then explain what you have to do. It's not downloading. Yeah, it does downloads. Questions? If you can, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Okay. Right here. Yeah. So I have my folder here. It's the downloads. Paid it in. So I have my folder here. You have the LaTeX workshop day one files which we have circulated, the mails. So if you go to the practice projects, if you go to the practice projects, Then we have the exercise project 1, project 2 and project 3. If I open all of them, then you would see that all of them are being given exactly similar to what we have done for today. So you can go ahead and practice and recreate all those projects. Because here we have exercise project 1. This exercise project 1 has name and then title, and then there is some text, and there are what we have done here, which is we have actually had a quote, we have added a package for it, and we have one line here on the top, and then we have one line in the bottom. So that's the project number 1. And then exercise project number 2. So the project number 2 is an article. In that article, what we have done, we have a title. In fact, actually this is article 370, and then we have the author name and of course table of contents, and there are introduction, purpose, everything. I think I did not include any of the figures or something for the project, just for the practice of the article. Exercise project number 3. So the project number 3 has 2-column layout. Project number 3 has a 2-column layout. It's again actually having the article, and then David Smith is the name of that, and University of Delhi. Then email is there, and of course there is a date is there, and you have a 2-column layout. That's the exercise I am giving it to you right now. So it's your responsibility to figure it out. How do I actually type a 2-column layout? I will give you a hint. It's just actually only one word related. You don't have to do anything else. And I have some list over here. In that list, actually, there is a sub list over here. And also, I have one figure I must have. No, I don't have any figures here. I have one table here. Where did I keep the figure? I think I did not keep the figure. Sorry for that. What you can do is actually, in project number 3. So please keep one figure. You download any of the figure and include it in the figure environment. We haven't covered this references part, so you can leave this reference part as it is. But rest of all, actually, you can do it as the project for today's lectures. Any doubts? If there is any, if there is no doubt, I think we are in the last moment to wind up the session. Okay, I think I'm not audible because I did not add my mic with the microphone, I guess. Sorry, mic with the webcam, I guess. But I think now it should be audible for you. Sorry for that, actually, that's my mistake. I haven't added the microphone to my webcam. Thanks a lot for being over here. I would like to again thank the GM Solutions for providing me the platform to conduct such kind of workshop to share my knowledge to everybody else. I would like to mention that the links, somebody is asking for the links for this video. You can use the same link, whatever you are right now visiting. The same link is going to be alive for a couple of more days for your practice. You can practice this, you can revisit this again, and then do your projects. I strongly support you to finish the projects, and you can come with the queries and the questions stated for tomorrow's lectures. Tomorrow's sessions will also have the interactive sessions only. We will be doing most of the steps in the hands-on sessions. So most likely we will be having the session in the YouTube live only. If anybody having the comments and if you'd like to have it in the Google Meet itself, then you please write back to us. You can write it in the WhatsApp group which we have made, so that we will be able to get back to this as well. Otherwise, let's wind up the session for today. Thank you. Thank you so much for all of you. Be safe, because wear mask everywhere actually whenever you are going outside. Please don't go without any mask or something. Right now I'm in my chamber, so I'm not wearing mask. I'm not really motivating you to wearing mask by showing it, but still I would definitely suggest that please wear the mask and go outside whenever you are going outside, even if you are going for the next street. Thanks a lot for watching. I would stop the live stream.